surprised, but municipal workers are now forced to get the deadly injection or take a COVID test once a week by September 13th in New York City. Forced inoculations are coming your way. It's coming into your schools. It's coming into your jobs. It's going to go to every single job you could imagine. And it's time for you to dig deep and understand where we are. This is medical tyranny. And if you refuse to take the vaccine or refuse to take a COVID test, there's nothing that they can do. Or you submit to a world government takeover. Time for you to dig deep, because if you haven't fought anything in your life, it's going to be knocking on your front door that you have no choice but to fight, or you submit to evil and take the deadly injection. Choice is simply yours. But I will tell you, for the people that are fighting, we need you to do it. We can't fight alone.
I don't even know I watch comedy shows anymore. I should just start watching the news, because this shit is so ridiculous. It could be very comical at times. What am I talking about? Not just the Delta variant, now it's the Delta Plus. A more scary, more deadly, more contagious variant. What's next? Delta Gold? Delta Business Class? Delta Kappa Beta Gamma stupid fuckface? Like, people, when are you gonna stop falling for this malarkey, this nonsense, this gibberish? They thrive on your stupidity. Come on, remember last year? Well, if you wear your mask, we can get back to normal. Now it's, oh, if you just let a pharmaceutical company put their experimental injection into your body, then we can get back to normal. What's next? Sacrifice your children to the devil, then we can get back to normal. Oh, fuck off, man.
The side that is locking people up for the crime of being healthy, arresting protesters, pepper spraying kids and beating up grannies, banning books and electronic messages, censoring social media, sending threatening letters, forcing small businesses to close, urging people to dob into centres and banning safe drugs that have worked for 60 years are all on the wrong side of history. In a frightening development, New South Wales has called in the troops to keep innocent, healthy citizens locked in their homes in what can only be called martial law. Recent freedom marches showed what happens to citizens who exercise their democratic right to protest. People are demonised, hunted down. The media vilifies to discourage others from questioning the control state. If the government can decide who is free and who is not, then that is not freedom, and no one is free. A crisis will always be found to justify measures designed to protect the government, not the public. A crisis that is as easy to create as turning up the PCR test from 24 cycles up to 42, where a false positive is the most likely outcome, as has occurred. Actions such as these have created a crisis of confidence in government. And that, fellow citizens, is on the Senate. We are the House of Review. We're tasked with the duty to ensure honesty, transparency and accountability in the government of the day. We have failed in that solemn duty, our duty to our constituents. We have failed those yet to vote, our children, who are now being injected with a substance that has not undergone meaningful safety testing. The Liberal, National and Labor parties have colluded to wave these measures through this place, reducing the Senate to the status of a dystopian echo chamber. Each new restriction, although met with rightful public opposition, has not led to a re-evaluation, but rather has led the government to crack down even further. The Morrison government is behaving like a gambling addict who loses a hand, and instead of admitting error and walking away, it doubles down. With troops now on the streets, it's frightening to contemplate where this will end. Everyday Australians are being deliberately demoralised to extract a higher degree of compliance. When COVID first arrived, there were few masks, and the experts and authorities told us masks were not necessary. Now those same medically ineffective masks are used to condition people to fear and obedience. Crushing resistance crushes hope, and without hope we have no future. Is it any wonder that small businesses are closing permanently? Every small business closed was a family being provided for from work, hard work and enterprise. Who will look after those families now? The government? With whose money? The Reserve Bank, using electronic journal entries, can only create fiat money out of thin air for so long before it runs down our country. The government can only sell bonds until buyers stop coming forward. Then what happens? We will have no...
So his vision is, just like in New York City, restaurants should ban young kids from being able to go in because they're not eligible for vaccination, and law-abiding citizens have to produce proof of their medical records just to go to the gym or attend an event or just to participate in everyday society. He wants that, but yet if you want to vote, he thinks it's too much of a burden to show a picture ID when you're voting. So no voter ID, but have to show your medical papers just to be able to live in everyday life? Give me a break. And so I think the question is we can either have a free society or we can have a biomedical security state. And I can tell you, Florida, we're a free state. People are going to be free to choose to make their own decisions about themselves, about their families, about their kids' education, and about putting food on the table. And Joe Biden suggests that if you don't do